good in defence.
I lost count of the goal line stops that they pulled off. There was quite a few there, weren't there? There was, I think, one where O'Brien held up Matty Lees on his own was really good. There was a good one on Grace when he skipped inside, and normally you think he's going to sort of pirouette his way in. Yeah, some really good stuff from Cass's goal line defence.
Yeah, when the try eventually came, it was a beautiful piece of work as well. But kind of all came from, for me, the player of the game, which was Alex Walmsley. Yeah.
And the Man of Steel points agrees. He got 3 in the Man of Steel points. I'm not sure what was going on with the Albert Goldthorpe. I think they've listed them backwards.
Yeah. Walmsley was full beast mode in this one for me. Yeah, he's not missing his mate, is he?
No, not at all. No, and James Graham's playing really well, and I actually think Kyle Amor's playing pretty well. Not in the Luke Thompson category, but as good as Kyle Amor can play in his career at this stage, he's playing to that level, I think, which is better than his hair. On the other side of things, something to mention: Grant Millington got 2 Grade A dangerous contact charges and ended up with a 1-game ban because he got away with his first one because he hadn't had one before. He didn't get a game for that, but then he got a game for his second one because now he's had a charge. But he got the sin bin as well, and that was for a late and definite shoulder challenge, or shoulder bump more than charge, but still definite shoulder challenge on Johnny Lomax, who I thought had his most active game that we've seen from him since the resumption of the season, to be honest. Lomax, he did try a lot in this game, I thought, but the scramble from Cass was outstanding.
Yeah. Who was it said that you disappointed or anything? It was. Cass played really well.
The line went shaky then.
They kind of stood toe to toe.
If you were making a great point, I have no idea what you said.
Oh, it was definitely a great point. It always is. Cass were very good. They competed at a ground where they never win, but they absolutely stood up to them. As you say, went toe to toe with them, and they just came up short against a team that is definitely kind of back to its best and looking like the class of the league.
Yeah, in the Man of Steel points, Walmsley got 3, Coote got 2, and Holmes got 1. In the League Express points, Holmes got 3, Coote got 2, and Walmsley got 1. But I feel like when I'm talking about who played really well in this game, actually played well, I'm looking at a few players from Saints, like you say, Walmsley, Coote, Lomax for me was good. Roby was really good. When you look at Cass, I just think it was a team performance, wasn't it? I can't single out any Cass players because I don't think Danny Richardson, I think, didn't have a good game.
No, he didn't. No, a couple of very errant kicks and just looked a bit off kilter, I think. Maybe trying a bit hard.
They got at him. Pure and simple, didn't they? They put together. Maguire did some great analysis on it on the Sky coverage, actually, with how they got at Richardson. But across the board, I mean, Shenton's effort to come so close to scoring on those 2 tries, one in early on and one late on, with the chasing through and not quite getting there, that was unfortunate for him, I thought. But yeah, you're talking about effort with Cass, aren't you? And working for each other. Cass were the team that were, of course, shifted to a different team to play because they were due to play Hull FC, so their preparation was impacted as well as St Helens was. But you think St Helens don't have to worry about who they're playing, they just turn up and play how they play and should win. Well, Cass stopped them to an extent, didn't they? Got to credit them.
As you said, the kind of Cass's intensity forced Saints errors, and it was only really, taking penalty goals is a sign of respect, isn't it? And Saints were forced to do that in the second half, and the try at the end was good play, but it meant the score was a little bit unrepresentative in many ways. But yeah.
I think 10-0. I think 10-0 was probably fair. It feels like to me, just because when you think back, or 10-point win by Saints was probably fair because Saints did have more, I think, close to the line opportunities and didn't play them badly either. But Cass defended them brilliantly.
Yes,
but. That try, it was a great try, wasn't it? You sort of said that before. When you're picking out highlight moments from a game that's only got one try, you kind of feel obliged to pick out that one try. But in this one, there's no obligation. If this was the decider in a game that was 5 tries to 4, 7 tries to 6 or whatever, this still would be a great try.
Yeah, and it's the classic kind of forward interplay to a fullback kind of backing up stuff, isn't it? It's classic stuff, but yeah, working very well.
And Wormsley's playing at that beast mode level where you just like they said it on the commentary in the game, but you were waiting for his second stint because you thought something might happen, and it did.
Yeah.
Eventually, it did. It took until the 76th minute or 77th minute, but it did.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Anything else on that one?
Any word for Gaz O'Brien on debut? What did you think?
He did okay. Obviously, he wasn't there in attack where he needed to be, but part of that might be because, of course, we haven't talked about Jake Truman actually not making the game. That had a big impact on what Cass could do in attack, and actually probably forced Cass's game plan, didn't it, to be restrict the opposition, get in the face. Obviously, Millington overstepped a line with that, but. And maybe that helped Cass after last week being so poor defensively. So O'Brien they could be confident in him, couldn't they? So they could do all that ahead of him because they could be confident that he'd be in the right place more often than not. He'd dropped one kick maybe, but which fullback? Most fullbacks have one in them a game, don't they?
Yeah. Oh yeah. For me, he looked like a good addition to their squad, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to think if there was anything else out of this one. I mean, I suppose we haven't really talked about Tommy Makinson's referral. In that, where do we think this is going? It wasn't nice to see, was it? In reality, it wasn't nice to see. It's never nice to see the referee have to pull players out to put something on report because like we'll talk about in the NRL, something out of lines happened here. But I don't think they could have done anything about it in the heat of the moment of the game. I mean, it took the TV 5 to 10 minutes to find a replay to show what happened, but it was clear, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, unfortunately for Makinson it was, and as you said, the number of grade F charges you can almost count on one hand, can't you? So it's something that they're taking seriously, even though we can take the piss out of it a little bit.
But it isn't the same gouging and biting kind of category, isn't it? It's something that I get high contact stuff can be really damaging to people. The Murdoch Marcella thing, pointed that out. You lost a player for a game and that sort of stuff, and concussion's a hot topic in sport and all of those things. But it's a fast contact sport. Those types of things are going to happen. This is not part of that. This is outside of that, and that's where grade F charges come in for me. Things that are happen on the pitch, but are outside of what you should, as a professional on that pitch, expect to come up against.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and from that point of view, he deserves the book thrown at him, really. So yeah.
What do you expect? Because it's listed as an 8-game 2-period suspension that the tribunal can look at for a grade F. But I would say Makinson's probably got a good record. I don't know, but I'm guessing has probably got a good record. 8 games would rule him out until nearly the playoffs.
I think I can't recall him being involved in anything particularly questionable previously, which makes this all the more strange. But I would say, I'd say probably 8 games. It's sufficient in terms of it's recognising the seriousness of it. But I don't see it as being something where he's kind of scrubbed out for the season. I just don't see it being quite that serious.
I see him going outside of the of the recommendations. I see him dropping it to 6. I don't expect this to be in 8 games, but we'll have to see, because we only got to see one replay of it, and then they realised we can't keep showing that. so
viewing.
Yeah, so I don't know, but 6 to 8 games wouldn't shock me. Saints have got a bit of a problem there, though, haven't they? Because we haven't talked about Percival getting his hamstring going again. That he was kept out with a tight hamstring last week. He'd had problems earlier on in the season and sort of last year as well a little bit. So he could be out for, say, 2 to 4 games as well. They've got Costello and they've got the young fullback who will play on the wing. What's his name? Played a lot at the start of the season. His name escapes me. They've got those two to come in, but this year Saints' squad was built around their depth is their youth, wasn't it? And so they're probably only an injury away from playing untried, untested players now in the outside, in the 3/4 line. So that is a factor. But then again, when you've got Walmsley overpowering people, it kind of means that you don't need your wingers as much. And the defence is fantastic, isn't it? 2 games in a row we've not conceded a point.
Yeah, I'm not feeling too sorry for Saints yet. Don't.
No, me neither.
No.
Okay, let's move on to the final game then. It was Wigan versus Leeds. Wigan having a home game at St Helens, and they took full advantage of the surroundings to win 28 points to 10. It was 12-4 to Wigan at half-time. Robert Hicks was the referee. In terms of the stats, Leeds made more metres, nearly 200 more actually, from 23 more carries, so they had quite a bit more ball. But Wigan made more breaks, 7-3, and made fewer errors. On the Super League stats, it was listed as 15 compared to 18 by Leeds. Individually, my boy Liam, Golden Liam, the wonderful Mr. Farrell. Have I ever said that I love Liam Farrell?
No,
one try,
never.
46 tackles and 127 metres. To be fair, that's just a standard Liam Farrell game. Jackson Hastings, 2 try assists, 161 metres. Liam Marshall, 151 metres. There was a few kind of choices for people who were close together in stats then, but we've gone with Jake Bibby because he had an influence on the scoreboard. 1 try assist and 120 metres. For Leeds, a few good metre makers. Ash Hanley, 178 metres. Harry Newman, 169 metres and 4 successful offloads. Adam Cuthbertson, let's talk about the positive for him. 165 metres and 3 offloads. We won't mention the 4 errors. Tom Briscoe, 1 try and 150 metres. Again, we'll talk about the positives and say he scored a try.
He touched the ball down over the line.
Yeah.
So, fan viewers on this one. Rich Wilkinson doesn't pull any punches. Leeds are just too shit to beat the likes of Saints and Wigan. We have a long way to go to be anything like a top side.
John Hamilton said, Leeds stood up better in defence this week, but there were so many handling errors and so few fifth tackle options. I don't think Gale can take the pressure of being the dominant half and captain. Bevan French is really, really exciting player to watch, and in case Mark missed it, Farrell was excellent. John, I was all over it from the start.
Neil McEwen said, Leeds are poor. As a neutral, they're frustrating to watch. Leaming isn't a starting Leeds hooker. He's average at best. Leeds Academy products look nowhere near the counterparts of Wigan, etc.
And Jen Kay said, much more assured performance from Wigan tonight. Great defending and bags of skill on display. Too many good performances to mention all of them, but thought it was Hastings' best game for a while. I agree. Top of the league again, but in spite of all this, I would still not be confident if we played Saints right now. I mean, every fan of every team, you know, there'd be some NRL teams I think would be not confident taking on Saints right now, but
yeah, you're not on your own there, Jen. But yeah, what about the Man of Steel and Albert Goldthorpe?
Well, disciplinary. Luke Gale got a grade A for his. It's listed as dangerous throw. I think it was more a dangerous lift in this occasion. No games for that. In the Man of Steel points, Liam Farrell got 3, Bevan French got 2, and Ash Handley got 1. In the League Express Albert Goldthorpe, Liam Farrell got 3, Zach Hardacre got 2, Ash Handley got 1. Bit surprised there. I would have put half a dozen or so Wigan players above Zach, even though Zach didn't play badly at all. But yeah,
yeah. I don't